But these are just hors d'oeuvres. I'm just throwing these out as little, like popcorn, just snacks. In our time together, I'm going to teach some really, really important principles for wealth creation. But I can focus everything on creating more wealth, becoming wealthy. We have now, in the US and Canada, we have now 30 million millionaires, according to the recent statistics. We have 2,075 billionaires, and there's about another 500 worldwide. And so, but in our country, and the rest of the world, there's 20 million millionaires. But in our countries, North America, we have about 30,000 millionaires, almost all of whom started with nothing and became millionaires in the course of a single lifetime. So what we'll do is we'll talk about what it is that these people do, starting wherever you are, or if you're in business. 80% of businesses are struggling. 80% of business people worry about money all the time. And I remember years ago discussing this, and what my aim is to help people reach a point where they never worry about money again.
Wow.
Never worry about money again. You and I have been there where we worried about money and we thought about money. We didn't sleep well about money. We just totally preoccupied because of money. And just between you and I, it's a terrible way to live. It's a terrible way to live. One of your great responsibilities in life is to provide for yourself and your family so that people don't worry about money. And that's one of the things that we will do. I will give a series of ideas, tested, proven by hundreds of thousands and millions of people, and even billionaires. I have 3 clients of mine who were basically struggling, worrying about money like you cannot imagine, doing Joe jobs, who today are extremely wealthy. One of them's worth about $3.5 billion. Another's worth about $5 billion. The third is worth about $8.7 billion. They're all in the Forbes magazines and in Google and everywhere else. And these people have told me face to face in several hour conversations that basically they had nothing when they came across the ideas that you and I share with people. And then they began to practice these ideas and their lives went in a different direction.
Yes.
I've written 86 books now. 86 books.
No way.
Yeah.
86 books.
I've published 86. I published 86 books that are all over the world and in 46 languages, not all in 46 languages, but a lot of books. And so one of the books that I'm thinking of writing now, I've got about 3 book projects in my mind. I have publishers already lined up saying, if you will write a book, we'll publish it. We'll publish it worldwide. And I say, well, I'm too busy to write, please. Yeah, I just got an email today from the biggest publisher in the world, by the way, out of New York. It's a company called Penguin. I can't even believe it. My mind's just gone blank. But anyway, it's one of the biggest companies in the world. It'll come to me. And they said, please, we need this book. Please, we want your next book. I said, well, I haven't decided what it's going to be. But the reason I mention this is because I have a book idea that I could probably never write, and it's called Turning Points. Turning Points. And my thought was writing a book about turning points and what we find in life. As you go down the road of life, things happen and you turn. Your turning point when you saw the woman reading the book Siddhartha, which, by the way, Hermann Hesse was a Nobel Prize winning, one of the great writers of the 20th century. And his book Siddhartha was one of his great books. He's a German writer, incredible. I read the book and other books that he's written as well. So you read that book, but if you hadn't seen that person and seen the title and found the bookstore and so on, that was a turning point for you.
Yes.
And after that turning point, when you read Siddhartha and other things by Hermann Hesse, you're never the same again.
Right.
Look back. But that's not, when you and I met many years ago, the things I learned from you about success in business went into my evolution, and I was never the same again. So sometimes there's big turning points and sometimes there's little turning points. This conference, from everything that I've seen, and I've spoken to more than 5 million people in 84 countries. I spoke in Dagestan earlier this month. It's my first time in Dagestan. And more than 5 million people. And in every case, they say this was a turning point for them. People come up to me and say, I'll never be the same after this program. Now, I made it kind of a little story for them. I said, imagine people say, well, I can't afford to go to this seminar or this conference. I said, well, imagine this. Imagine you could hire me with my knowledge and my experience. And you could hire me and send me out to research success for 30 or 40 years and read thousands of hours of books and take thousands of hours of courses and listen to thousands of hours of audio programs by the smartest people that ever lived, and then condense all of this and bring it all back to you. And here it is. Here's the essence of everything that I've learned in a lifetime, and I'll give it to you for the cost of coming to one seminar. Imagine that. And you say, oh, I can't afford 30 or 40 years of research and thousands of hours taught by a multi-millionaire who counsels with billionaires. I just can't afford the amount of money. What you're doing is you're hiring me and you and other people to go and spend our lives assembling this material and then giving it over and over again and smoothing it out, almost like a play off Broadway where all the bugs are worked out. And so you finally give the seminar, and this now is, for me, I've given more than 5,000 seminars. So what you're getting is the distilled essence of 5,000 seminars and 40 years of practice and 150,000 hours of research. And in the time we have together, I will give you the best that I've learned. And just today, we're just going to talk about how you can quickly reach the point where you never have to worry about money again.
Brian, that is beautiful. That's a beautiful way of saying it. And so I am bringing you, for all of Americans, to Los Angeles, and for all Canadians to Toronto, and for people around the world, they can choose whichever is closer, Toronto or Los Angeles. And you can be in a room with me, but also with this wise master, this Jedi master who preceded me on stage and whom I learned from when I was just a little boy, a boy speaker, and he was already world famous. It's April 4 and 5 in Los Angeles, 2020.
Right.
And May 1, 2, 3 in Toronto in 2020. And there's 2 levels of tickets. Let me just explain. There's general admission, where you come and enjoy all the days and learn like crazy, network. And then there's the VIP, which I strongly recommend because they always sell out first and we can only have a limited number of them. At VIP level, you get a special registration desk so you don't have to wait. You get a special name tag so people can see that you're special. You're first admitted to the room so you can sit where you want. There's VIP sitting right near the front so you get the immediacy of being really close to Brian and myself and the other speakers. But on top of that, you get an individual photograph with Brian Tracy. I don't mean a group photo. I mean you and Brian Tracy, and then the next person and Brian Tracy. But you get your own picture with Brian Tracy and lunch every day. It's an amazing deal. Click on the link and you will be able to choose either Los Angeles or Toronto, and then you'll choose either VIP or general admission, whatever your pocketbook can handle, and be there and come up and hug me and just be grateful and be happy. Because as Brian says, there's no other way to learn but being in a room with a master who has proven his worth over decades, that his words work. His learning works, his teaching works, his lessons work, his books sell because they work. And I am so overjoyed that I am finally, after all these years, correcting a mistake that I brought so many other experts to my stage and not Brian Tracy, my old buddy.
That's very flattering. That's very flattering, Raymond. Thank you. Because I think of you at the same level. I've learned so much from you over the years.